So we're going to show you how to use the Poinsettia die. I think this is a really important demonstration, and it's one that I've really wanted to show since the dies came on. Out of the dies, I think this is a little trickiest die, but with this technique that I'm going to show you, you'll sail through it. So let's start. So with all our techniques that we do, we're going to start with the essential tools, and the essential tools for us are the A5 magnetic sheet, the metal spreader, and it's a metal spreader because if it's a plastic one you're going to get little notches in it and you'll get tram lines. And then we've got the palette knife and we've got our stencil tape. So let's start. Oh, and also we're going to be using later a little pen, so I have a little pen handy as well. Right, we are going to start with the beautiful Poinsettia die, and again with any of our stencils that you're using in conjunction with our dies, you must use it with the writing facing upwards. That is really important. So let's start off. So let's get ourselves some card. And we're just going to go with white card and placing our stencil on. And with this one, there's no right, no wrong way, just spread it straight down. And we're going to go in with our stencil tape. So again, we're going across the top and you're using some of it to anchor it down so it doesn't slide around. And again, you can use a heat sheet. My preference is a glass mat because it's nice and sturdy and it stays where I put it whilst I work. But it's personal preference. So, masking all the way around. Now for this one, I'm going to be using our beautiful translucent medium. Anybody that's seen me at the shows knows it's one of my favourites. And I'm going to use our beautiful fire red satin glitter. And our satin glitter, it's cut to 2 grades further than most ultrafine. So it's not an ultrafine glitter, it's even further than that. With our stencil mediums, our new ones, you do not have to give them a stir. They're better if you don't stir them. You can see they're quite mousse-like. So along the top, nice and easy, hold your spreader at a 45-degree angle and in the middle, and you're pulling it gently across. Check that you're all full. If you weren't, you would just dollop and fill in any holes. So the residue goes back in the middle and off. And that is it. It's as hard as that. Very quick, very simple to do. You can either baby wipe your tools or you can pop them into water. I've just dropped mine into a bowl of soapy water. So taking off your tapes and you're taking your third one off. And what you're going to do is you're going to leave this one on. This is your hinge. Now I'm going to take it, pull it out of the shot and pull the magnetic sheet and the card down, lifting the stencil away. So I'm not creating a force. So there we go. Now with the new mediums, you do have to be quicker to get your glitters on, but the bonus is that the mediums do dry a lot quicker as well. So I'm not scattering different colours over, I'm just going to go in with beautiful fire red. And you can see how beautiful and soft this glitter is. It's a cosmetic grade and it is super, super, super fine. So we're just taking off. People ask me, do you have to anti-static the card? Not the card, you don't, but if you were using acetate, then yes, I would anti-static it. So you can see, how's that? That's beautiful, isn't it? So pop that to one side, let it dry, and drying time, this one will take about an hour to dry because it's got a lot more solid areas than what we've previously done. The more solid the areas, then the longer it takes to dry. So let me just clean up a second, get a tea towel, and just wipe over the surface, cleaning off the mat. There we go. There we go. the only downfall. Glitter gets everywhere. There we go. So, once you're dry, all you need to do is pull in the dry area. So sorry, I like to show. So you can see, lovely and dry. So I'm just going to take off the residue and tap it away. You've got to remember that glitter sticks to the glue, and then you've got the static glitter that sticks to the glue, the glued glitter. Okay, so just brush that off with a brush or a gentle rub over with a cloth, and there you go. So we're going to die cut this, and I'm going to show you the easy way of how to die cut. So moving my magnetic sheet out of the way. So in with the poinsettia dies. So the poinsettia dies are 3-part dies. So let me pop those on there so you can see. So what you've got is you've got your smallest one, your middle one, and your largest one. I do like cutting 2 large ones. Normally I like to do 2 big large ones and 1 little centre one. Years ago when this first came out, I wouldn't have dreamed of even trying to cut that one out. Now with the die, it's a dream. It cuts right into the centre point. So I want my die to cut right into these little veins here. So with the easiest way, mark your centre points about, I would say, about 5 mil. And I'm just doing, and with this one, you've seen me cut previous dies where I've used all of them together. With this one, I don't. I cut them individually. That is really important because when you're trying to cut this, the die from this one will overlap, and the same here. Okay, so that is really important. So you can see that I've done some marks. All right. So what I've done with my die, I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. I'll bring it up. Yeah, so you can see that I've actually scratched and I've marked. So what I've done is I've marked my point here, my blade point here on the back. And I've done it to a couple of them. And again, just making sure that you've got your blade marked. Because what I found is when I slotted it over, if you're out by just a little bit of a mil, if you're a perfectionist, it can irritate you. Me, I am, but now I'm learning not to be as perfect or hoping it's going to be absolutely spot on. So you can see what I'm doing now is I'm looking at this. So point yourself to one of the petals that really stands out. And for me, it's always this one here. So the one that's got the knobble on. And then I'm looking for my design and I can see it's there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up. And for me, when I use glitter on the images, I find it's harder to feel it slot over because the glitter covers it. When you just use paste, it slots over, but still use, so we're making sure that we're lining up. So if you feel that you need to go a little bit closer, then go a little bit closer. Because what you don't want to do is rush and cut it out, and then that's it, you've ruined it. Okay, you've gone to the effort, so you can see how easy that line lines up. And I'm just going to make sure that that one is going to line up too. There we go. So just making sure. Let's go with this one. Let's go. So let me just move this out. And I'm going to take time to do this because this is an important demonstration, I feel, for the dies. So you can see I'm lining the die up with the points. Okay. So remember, use a Sharpie. Me, I just scratched it with a pointy, one of my little pointy sticks. Because it's not hurt the die, you're just helping yourself. You're giving yourself marker points. So again, so hopefully we have got that exactly where we want it. If it's just slightly off, don't worry about it. So, okay, so we're going to come in with, again, I'm using my chosen machine. At home, I've got the e-bosser, I've got the Cuttlebug, we've had the Big Shot, the Caliber, the Gemini, but I just love, this is my machine that I take around the shows. So this is my little Spellbinders Platinum. The sapphires, they're too small for the bigger dies like the Mendy flower to go through. So this is why I've gone with the platinum, and I'm really pleased with it. So I'm running it through. If you feel you want to run it through twice, you run it through twice, but I haven't felt the need to, apart from when I'm cutting this little one. When I'm cutting this one, I run it through twice because it's such a fine cut right up in the centre. So taking that out the way, moving that out, and we're going to lift your die off. Or you can see it just cuts like butter. And there you go. A little bit slightly off there, but hey, who's going to notice that when you've layered it? Isn't that beautiful? So you're just moulding your petals, because remember, the paste has got an acrylic base inside it, so it will retain all those beautiful shapes. So how easy is that to create a flower? So let's go in with, let's move the big die. And again, look after your dies. I am really bad with my dies, as people will have seen at shows, but I'm trying to be very good. So I'm taking off. I nearly ruined my little flower. So again, we're looking at the most distinctive petal, and for me it's that one. Okay, so I'm just going to mark my petal, and hopefully this pen will mark, because I haven't got a scratchy tool or a pokey tool, but that's fine, yes, it marks. Lovely, so let's get another distinctive. So we're just making sure, okay, and then I'm just going to make sure that that stays there. That's perfect. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go again. We're going to mark and mark and mark. And I nearly ruined this little petal by ripping my card. Because I'm using the micropore tape, so it is very super strong. Our stencil tape is not strong enough for the dies, I feel. So I'm looking, let me locate a petal, and my preferred petal, as always, is this one. So let's have a look. There he is. It's that one. Okay, just because he's a lot tinier. Yeah, there he is. So that one. So we're lining up. Perfect. So can you see how it then lines up? And I'm hoping I've got it absolutely spot on, because again, you can't feel it slot over. It doesn't slot over. As in, you don't feel the blade slot into the grooves, especially with this tiny little one. So let's, fingers crossed, let's see what we've got. So we're going to mask off, just pinch a bit of this tape and mask off. Okay, let's go with this one, because we can put these two together, I feel. So again, so let's go with a pokey tool, and we're just going to line up, and then you're scratching. Can you see? So that will then stay there. And again, I'm lining up. I'm going to just, so I know that is where my point is. A better one. Let's see what we've got. So my 3 points, so my little fat one, and let's make sure that we get this right. There he is. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that there, and I'm going to mark up, mark up, mark up. Let's hope. At the end of the day, it's a bit of card, but sometimes you want it just right. I'm making sure. that's him there. So just making sure those are in center. Okay, let's go for it. What I'm going to show you after as well is how easy to use the dies without doing any pasting or anything like that, and how they don't have to be used in conjunction with our stencils. You can still get a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful image just using inks and things through them as well. So we're running through, and I'm going to run him twice. There we go. Move the platinum out of the way. Pop that down. And let's see. Okay, I don't think I've got it quite straight, but let's see. So what you need to do is gently tease it, because remember, can you see these little bits here have cut right in to the center? So we're just making sure, and I'm using 300 GSM cards, so it's quite a tough old card, but it's one that I do love stenciling on. There we go. So again, tiny little center point. Oh, I've got a little bit there. That's fine. So let's just take that away. I've left a little bit of the card on. There we go. Lovely. So, and again, I'm being very careful, right to the center point, and I'm teasing those little centers out, as you can see. There we go. And pushing in, teasing them out, pushing it down, teasing out. Because you've not just gone through the card, you've gone through the paste as well. So you've got the thickness of the paste as well as the card as well. And there you go. So let's move that out the way. Let's pop the dies on there for the moment. And there, and let's go. So as I said, I normally like using 2 of the big ones, but for this demonstration, we're going to adapt. So let me just move my gunk away. So we're just building up. That's better. Just offsetting it. So you just get your lovely little flowers, and then you can build them up. You could do another one green and create green leaves if you wanted. But there you go. So let's show you how easy it is with just using just a slightly thinner cardstock. This time you don't have to worry where you place it. So think about your coloured cardstock, your coloured flowers. They can be anything. You know, we call it a poinsettia die. It's up to you. It depends on what colour you put, what sentiment you put, you know, how many layers you put on it. It depends what type of flower then it looks like for you. So I've just lined them up like that. So bringing in my machine, so my cut plates. You're running it through. Remember, you've got your tiny little ones, so I'm going to run it a couple of times through for my tiny little ones and back through, just to make sure. Sorry if it's rocking everything. Pop that out the way and then pop that down. Look how easy that just popped out. Lovely, lovely. So we're going to get another piece of the white card, or white thinner card, See, they're just jumping out. They are that good. And there. So you've got your 3 there. Lovely. Oops, we just dropped a piece. That's fine. Lovely. Sorry, I just wanted to get exactly the same. So I do apologise if we go out of shot, but sometimes we need to just get it right for you. So again, popping them on, and we're just going to go through. Just making sure I've got him nice and... So I've not got any shims or anything with these dies. They're a real good quality die. And that's just dropped out as well. Lovely. So pop your die back onto, I store mine on a magnetic sheet. So mine's back on my magnetic sheet. And so you've got your 3 dies. Okay, nice and simple. So let's go in with a little bit of red. So there's a couple of ways you could get inks, and you could go over the top, okay, to give it your colours. So nice and simple. Or if you're after your grooves of your stencil, so you could colour it that way, okay, nice and simple. If you're after the grooves, then the only way that I can suggest is line up, so looking for your point, so I'm looking at the thinnest one, okay, there, and you're lining up, okay, and then get a little bit of masking tape and just mask off. Excuse me, going out of shot. Pop them on. Then getting and going through. This way you're going to get your veins, okay. You could spritz it, you could ink through it, use your air compressors through it now because you're just stenciling through the stencil. Could you even use beautiful shimmer and shine luster paints? They would look amazing. A beautiful gold poinsettia or flower like that would look stunning. So just inking through, whether you use stencil brushes or whichever your chosen tool, it's up to you. You know, even your oxides, going over with your oxides and then spritzing and dabbing them. There's so many different ways of playing with them. So let's, again, line up. So I'm going with the thinnest, I'm lining him up, turn him over so he's got something to rest on. Lining up, lovely. And I know this is quite a long demo, but this is one that I really wanted to show you. So we're almost finished, just really to show you. There we go. So quick, dab him over. How quick is that? Then pop him out. So taking away your tapes, pop him out. There you go. So you've now got your veins. Obviously you're going to take a lot longer to work it than what I am. So you've now got, you can see what I mean about having the veins. And then you'll use your tools. Remember, this is now just cards, so you will use your tools to just 3D it, whether or not you're going to put a green one behind there and just 3D it. I think personally leave that one off. Okay, so you just 3D it. So you can see what we're trying to achieve with the stencils. So it's just really playing with your paste and playing with your stencils and playing with your dies. I hope you enjoyed that. You can see that, you know, just working with different mediums. Let's show you a couple of the samples. So this is a perfect example. This is Julie Rose, and this is going to show you where she's used different colour pinks, no medium apart from inks through it, and then she's used a beautiful, beautiful ivy through it and just layered that up onto a backing embossed folder. How beautiful is that? And that could be anything. That could be with love, that could be Christmas. This is the wonderful Eileen Godwin, and she has used this. This is the beautiful white through it, through the poinsettia, and then she uses the centres, glitters and things like that. And she's actually drawn around it, to give it a fine detail, she's drawn a white pen around it. That is beautiful, that is. And this one, this is from Linda Walmsley, and she has used the beautiful red it's super fine glitters, using the poinsettia stencil in conjunction with some stamps, and she's made the most amazing little tag to go with it. And that is, you know, there's nothing wrong in redoing it and then, you know, as we've said, just building it up if you wanted. I hope you enjoyed that technique. It's been a pleasure as always. If you have any questions, don't forget you can email us at sales@sweetpoppy.co.uk, or you can go online at www.sweet-poppy.com, or even go onto our Facebook page, Sweet Poppy Stencils. I hope you enjoyed it. Many thanks.